Alrighty, so that is the first game of the MLS is back tournament finish, and I gotta say, even though this wasn't an instant classic game, I thought this game was a decent game, and that we did see a late goal winner, which I'm pretty sure Orlando City fans are absolutely ecstatic, but Inter Miami fans are probably going to be very frustrated about this result, and that they were literally 3 minutes away of getting their first ever point in MLS history. But again, overall, I thought this was a decent game, and things are going to continue to improve as we go along. I mean, I didn't have a lot of expectation this to be a very good game, knowing the fact that this is the first time we have seen any MLS action, and that all of these players have not played competitively in over 4 months, and that the rust, of course, would show in this game, and it clearly showed in the first 30 minutes of this game. Now, before I get into the game, some background information. Pizarro actually did not start in this game. He actually came off the bench and substitute off of a very scary incident that one of the Inter Miami players suffered, which I, of course, will get to that. But apparently they said that the reason why Pizarro did not start this game is that he kind of picked up a little bit of a knock heading into this game, so that is the reason why he did not start in this game and was not in the Inter Miami starting 11. I had some mixed feeling in terms of the stadium setup and the camera angle. I mean, the camera angle, I know there were some people that were not happy of how the camera angle is, and it's kind of like very high up. But for me, I actually like the fact that the camera angle like that, because I can definitely see how teams, of course, set things up. And in terms of tactical standpoints, that is the perfect camera angle to see, because you can see all the players and how the tactics is definitely set up on the pitch. Although there were times where when players decided to run down the flanks, the camera guy probably did not do a good job in terms of trying to kind of show the player running down the flanks and running down the sideline. And there were a couple of times where you can't even see the player running down the sidelines, and it almost feel like the sideline area was partially obstructed because of this high camera angle that they had throughout the game. The advertisement board, for most part, I have no problem in terms of the CGI advertisement board on the side. But what I did have problem is when they put the Adidas logo in the center circle. And I think for part of this game, I thought they literally sprayed the Adidas logo right on the center circle. But later on, I found out that it was just CGI that they, of course, did that. And I mean, I understand that obviously you want to put advertisement around the board. I mean, that's how the league, of course, make money, and that's how they, of course, will please their sponsor. But just put a sponsor logo right on the playing service and right in the center circle. Just, it doesn't look like a good look, and I'm hoping the league, of course, can hear this from the fans' feedback, because I know a lot of fans was not happy the fact that they see the Adidas logo literally occupy the center circle throughout this game. There was also these virtual video screen that was on both end line and also on the other side of on one of the side of the stands, and I do like them. I mean, most of these video screen, of course, shown some promotion about this game, and also they showed a couple of footage of people, of course, was on the Zoom call while watching this game. Yes, MLS actually did had a Zoom call throughout this game where, you can, of course, go onto the Zoom call and you get a chance to potentially feature on TV. Although that chances is very unlikely, because most of the time when they, of course, have any footage of those video screen, it's usually on the end line, and it's very rare they actually show like the virtual video screen from the other stands, because most of the time the camera doesn't go high enough to kind of see the full image of the virtual video screen. But other than that, I do like the fact that MLS is trying to do that. They want to be like interactive with the fans and give the fans a chance to kind of be on TV, even though at times it was kind of hard for fans to actually see that happening. Before the game, when the players was walking onto the pitch, the players actually took a knee, and some of them actually raised their fist, and they did this right after they were on the pitch, and also before the kickoff, and obviously that is related to the whole Black Lives Matter movement, and that I think they did it for a very long time when they were walking on the pitch, and then they did it another 20 seconds after the whistle was blown, which is something we saw happening over Europe with many of these leagues decided to do that, and that I have a feeling we're going to continue to see that because this is definitely a big issue that is going on around the world, and it's something that is not going to stop for a very long time until if this issue is eventually going to resolve. Now, actually getting to the game itself, in the first half, the first chance came in the 8th minute, and this probably could have been the first goal of the game when Juan Agudelo absolutely missed a sitter from actually not nine yards out. It was actually maybe about 4 yards out that he missed that sitter from, and I have no idea how in the world did Agudelo do not put that one away, but thankfully, a little bit of a spoiler alert, he would kind of redeem himself a little bit later in this game. And as I said before, as expected, both teams looked very sloppy and things were very cagey in this game. Like, there was definitely a lot of tackles flying into the game, and that, I thought the referee at times, he kind of lost a little bit control of the game, but he did his best in terms of trying to control the emotion. And you're going to see these kind of things, especially in a rivalry game like this where both teams definitely want the 3 points and both teams definitely do not like each other whatsoever. So things are going to be very, very cagey, and that challenge are going to just be flying in throughout this game because of that. Now, in the 22nd minute, Orlando City had a chance to get the opening goal themselves. Mueller actually went through on goal, but Robles with a nice save. But as he pairs that one away, Dom Dwyer was literally right there for a chance to tap it in on the rebound, but for whatever reason, he couldn't quite get that on the follow-up, and the game, of course, remained 0-0 up until that point. And then in the 30th minute, that's when we had our first water break. There was also a water break in the 75th minute in the game, and I thought that water break was really, really a something that helped both of these teams for the rest of the game, because in the first 30 minutes, I thought it was a very sloppy game, and it was just, you can definitely see there was a lot of rust between both of these teams in terms of them having seen any competitive action in almost 4 months. Now, 9 minutes after the water break, Ben Swift decided to try to do his best Maradona impression by doing the hand of God, but obviously, in nowadays, when you have VAR that is happening, you are not going to get away with trying to do a hand of God and trying to punch the ball into the back of the net. And in this case, that is exactly what happened. He tried to do the hand of God, didn't work, and also got a yellow card for that. And that, of course, was really the last good chance we had in the first half as we head to halftime scoreless. Now, in the second half, just literally 2 minutes coming out of halftime, we got our first goal of this MLS Is Back tournament, and it was Juan Agudelo, who, as I mentioned, he missed a sitter from 3 yards out earlier. He did redeem himself here as he scores from Ulloa and Pellegrini, and Miami, just like that, has a 1-0 lead. Now, 5 minutes later, there was a very scary incident happen in this game where Reyes actually was stretchered off after Dom Dwyer looked like he was accidentally jabbed his hand into Reyes' throat. And I know when you see that happen, a lot of people are going to be very upset at Dwyer. And knowing Dwyer has this kind of mentality of being a rough kind of striker and kind of at times being a little bit violent in terms of some of the moves that he made. Obviously, there was going to be a lot of backlash toward him. However, I think the backlash shouldn't be actually toward Dom Dwyer because, again, I really think that was just accidental, and I don't think he really meant that. And you can clearly see he was clearly shaken up after Reyes was actually stretchered off and had to go to the hospital because of this. But what the backlash should definitely be on in this instance is the medical staff. I mean, I wrote shocking medical crew response with all caps, and I probably would have put 10 exclamation mark in there because I was absolutely berated in terms of how the medical crew responds in this instant. Like, How in the world did they decided to not even like Reyes? You can clearly see that he looked like he was in life-threatening situation. The fact that the medical crew took almost 4 minutes to get from the other side and bring the stretcher to that instant, absolutely disgraceful whatsoever. And that I really hope the league do something about this, and I hope they either find that medical crew or just fire them right on the spot, because that's just disgraceful. Like, you had a guy that clearly is in real pain, and the fact that they it feels like they look completely uninterested is just not a good look whatsoever. And when you have a player like Juan Agudelo that actually was dragging the stretcher and literally trying to bring the stretcher as fast as he could, that's when you know that clearly the medical crew response is not good enough and whatsoever. And ESPN, Taylor Twellman and John Champion, and especially Taylor Twellman, absolutely ripped on the medical crew. And I don't agree with Taylor Twellman a lot of things, but that's one of the few times that I actually agree with him, because again, that was just absolutely disgusting from what I saw from the medical crew, taking just so long to get to him. And that he could have easily been in a very bad situation, and that he was just like in a life-threatening situation for that could have easily died in that incident. Now, moving forward after that scary incident, Orlando City eventually did equalize in this game, and it was Chris Mueller, who I thought he was very lively in this game, and that I think you could say that he could definitely be up there as the player that might get man of the match, as he of course scored from Nani. ESPN was really on thin ice after Mueller decided to drop the F-bomb. Yeah, when he celebrated, he basically dropped it, and I know they of course apologized to the audience for the profanity that is made, but for me, I really don't mind whatsoever. Like, I feel like nowadays these networks, they just gotta understand that, yes, I understand you tried to block the profanity, and you trying to there's going to be kids watching this, and this of course is not a good look to the network. But at the end of the day, we're in a stage of society that profanity is literally everywhere, and you just cannot avoid it whatsoever. So yeah, I just think that I'm one of those person that I feel like these network probably should just go a little bit ease off in terms of this whole thing. But I can also see why these networks want to clearly emphasize of these kind of things as said, because if there's children's watching this game, which I'm assuming there is, this is definitely not a good look on their network itself. Now, just 2 minutes later, Lewis Morgan had a chance to give Inter Miami the lead back from a free kick, but unfortunately his free kick just went wide. Both teams did have chances late in the game. I thought it was kind of a little bit back and forth, and it looked like both teams were looking to trying to get the winning goal. Now, in the 88th minute, there was a little bit of controversy. Well, there wasn't really a lot of controversy in this game, but this one might be a little bit of that, as it looks like Juan actually brought down Argudo, but no penalty was awarded. And I guess the reason why there was no penalty awarded was because Argudo, once he went down on the ground, he literally just got back straight on his feet. And when you decide to do that, most of the time referee are not going to think that it's a penalty. And this is also the reason why you see a lot of players, they decided to just went down on the ground and just stay on the ground, so that they can of course draw a penalty, because even in a slight of a contact, and nowadays we've seen a lot of players that kind of try to draw the foul, whether it's by diving in the penalty box or trying to draw even the minimum of contact. That's why we see that there has been a lot of penalty. But unfortunately for Argudo, he kind of did the honorable thing by just getting right back up, because if he decided to just go down on the ground and stay on the ground, you wonder if the referee might think about calling that a penalty, or he might even go to VAR to check to see if that was actually a penalty or not. Now, we did have 10 minutes of stoppage time in this game, and I thought this game was probably going to end in a 1-1 draw, but then in the 97th minute, Nani scores to give Orlando City a 2-1 lead, and I wrote poor defending from Miami because, yeah, this was really bad defending from Miami. Figal, inability to deal with the cross, and it actually just knocks it right into the path of Nani, who was just completely unmarked. Like, you cannot leave Nani wide open in the box and expect to not concede a goal in that instant. And that is exactly what happened, as he, of course, scores the winning goal for Orlando City, as Orlando City gets a crucial 3 points and definitely have helped their cause in terms of trying to move on into the next round of this MLS is back tournament. But yeah, overall, as I said, this was a decent game, and that, I think in these upcoming days we're definitely going to see some more great games that is going to be coming. Obviously, these games are going to come thick and fast because we know for a fact that tomorrow there's going to be 2 more games that's going to happen, including one that is unfortunately going to be at 6 a.m. in the morning my time, which again I don't think I'm going to able to watch that game between the Union and NYCFC. Consider it's that early, and that I'll probably maybe just watch the condensed version of that. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash that subscribe button, and yeah, I will see you guys next time.